Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for another Chelsea, well, less so transfer special, more like Chelsea news special, I guess, because Chelsea have seemingly finally secured a shirt sponsor. Now, on the one hand, I would have kind of absolutely loved it if we just went into the season without a shirt sponsor, because our kit looks clean AF without a shirt sponsor on it. I won't even lie. So that had its benefits, but at the same time, I mean, we need the cash coming in. So, you know, the ownership, the directors, whoever was exactly in charge of it, agreeing a new deal. We'll get into it in more detail, how much we're getting, who it is, where's this company turn up from, because I'm sure none of us have ever heard of them. So we'll talk about all of those things, as well as the very unfortunate news that poor old Christopher Nkunku, not only did he pick up a fairly serious knee injury, he also required surgery and will now be out for 3 months, maybe 3.5 months. Won't play again until December. So that is just bloody brilliant, isn't it? But Chelsea have also released the new squad numbers, which, you know, we'll debate those, what we think of those. Some are good, some are a bit questionable, some are interesting, shall we say. But there is a lot to get through. Pies, I'll start with you. First of all, thank you for being back on. I appreciate it as always. On the one hand, I want to start with the sponsor, obviously. On the other hand, I want to give people a bit more time to turn up. So I'm going to basically throw you completely under the bus and ask you something completely random. Are we signing Neymar?
No, I don't think so. But, you know, when something comes out from a really good source, you have to post it. Yeah, I mean, maybe the owners are pushing it, but I don't think Pochettino would want Neymar. I mean, maybe he would, but I just don't see how it's feasible, because I think, well, it's certainly feasible, but like I don't see how or why we would do it when we've just kind of worked all this way to, you know, reduce our wage bill and, you know, get the average age of the squad down, and then we just go for Neymar. Like, it doesn't really make sense, but you know, there is links quite a lot with Neymar over the last few months. So we'll see. The transfer window can throw up weird things, but it's not really throwing up too much, and it hasn't done so far in terms of incomings for us. So
No.
to go and get Neymar, it would be like, whoa, that is just out of the blue. But yeah, interesting nevertheless, I guess.
Yeah, it is, because obviously Fabrice Hawkins on French news. I'm never sure whether we mean French league and French players news, or whether we mean just the one. But he's usually quite reliable on those things. There's also the Telegraph was reporting that there has been some sort of conversation, but Chelsea has not really decided whether we even want him or not. Dams, I guess you'd probably be a fan of it. I personally don't think it will ever happen, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. But I'll say it like this. I'd rather Neymar for a year or two than Mbappe for a year or two. I know that's a bit outrageous and people are going to call me stupid for that. But, you know, Neymar will leave when he's done. Mbappe will leave because he wants to go to Real Madrid and make us look like mugs again. So, you know, but yeah, I don't want Neymar either. Let's be honest, we just had Nkunku injured. Neymar will play one game and be injured for the rest of the season. The poor man's ankles, do you know what I mean? But otherwise, yeah, we're basically just giving people time to turn up before we talk about the important bits. But would you be down for Neymar if it were to happen, Dams?
Yeah, big up Laurenz, big up Pies, big up the chat as well. It's been a while since I've been on here. Sub to Lawrence's channel as well. And yeah, do you know what, bro? I'd be all over the Neymar deal. Obviously, the only thing that's sort of stopping us, I guess, is the wages, and that's what even personal times if Neymar actually wants to come. But I think it'll be an absolutely great signing for us. But I don't want him playing on the wing. I'd rather him play number 10. And with Nkunku injured, I think having like a blockbuster signing like Neymar, I know obviously in the past blockbuster signings haven't worked out for us, but at the same time, like we can't deny the amount of talent Neymar has.
We've never gone as blockbuster as Neymar, to be fair.
Yeah, exactly. And this guy, like, but it's up for debate whether he's sort of been the third best player in the world after Ronaldo and Messi. That's obviously a debate to have, but he's definitely up there with top 5. Sort of best in the world, if not in the past, if not maybe now.
Yeah, in the past, most definitely. I'm not quite sure anymore about now, just because he's been injured so much. And
yeah,
I don't know. Has Neymar played regular football at any point in the last 3 years? It doesn't.
No, he hasn't. But at the same time, like I feel like he doesn't really, because of the fixture load this season for us, I don't think we have a lot of fixtures. So I think that actually suit him sort of best where we don't have Europe this season in terms of having that one game a week, and then obviously. He'll definitely feature in, say, like cup games and stuff like that. And I'd actually think he could do really well for us, to be honest, if we build around him for this season at least. So yeah, but then obviously there's that there's the João Felix situation as well. I mean, there's no situation arising, but if there was one player that I'd want in Nkunku's position to sort of replace, it would be sort of João Felix, if not Neymar.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, we'll talk about João Felix in a minute because we will obviously discuss Christopher Nkunku and not only his injury, but what that means for our squad. Does that mean we need to do, act differently on a transfer market than we might have done without the injuries? I would say yes, but we'll get to that in a minute. You know what? Let's talk squad numbers. Shall we do that for a second? Because all of this, so I was working night shift last night. So when all of this stuff was coming out, I was well and truly, just enjoying my sleep. Do you know what I mean? And all of a sudden I wake up and I see, let me just scroll down. Do they have a list of the whole thing somewhere? Yeah, there you go. Just go down. And I wake up and I realize Mykhailo Mudryk has the number 10 before he ever scored a goal for us, which is kind of a bit mental. But yeah. So what do we make of that, Pice? I'll start with you. Do we have anything good here? It's kind of like all over the shop a little bit. I guess we can also go in order, but Nkunku getting the 18. Obviously, we'll not see him play until December. Nicolas Jackson takes the 15, which Mudryk had, but now doesn't have anymore. Disasi takes the number 2. Goalkeeper Sanchez takes the 31. Gusto takes the 27, which you don't mind. Don't mind. Andrey Santos keeps the number 20 that he had in pre-season. Ugochukwu gets the 16. I'm still not sure whether he will stay, though. Enzo switches from the number 5 to the number 8, which I guess makes sense because, I mean, he literally has a tattoo of a number 8. So, fair enough, I suppose. Mykhaylo Mudryk, though, takes the number 10 from Christian Pulisic. As Raheem Sterling, the little, let me not insult him, guy, takes the number 7 and ruined everything. But yeah, Noni Madueke then took the 11, which I'm quite a big fan of. Cucurella, the 3, less of a fan of that. Benoit Badiashile taking the 5 of Enzo. Chukwuemeka getting the 17, which is sure better than the 30 he had, so that's good. And Broja switches to the 19. Didn't he have the 18 until now? So that's a bit weird. And Levi Colwill takes the 26. Although I have learned nothing to do with John Terry for him. It's just the day he's born. The date is the 26th. So that's always been his number. But Pice, thoughts on the new squad numbers? Any ones that stand out which you like? Any ones that stand out in which you don't like?
I like the Mudryk number 10. Aesthetic-wise, I really like that. I think we can have this debate whether people deserve X or Y nowadays. But to be honest with you, we've had Ross Barkley wear Lampard's shirt and things like that. So, and Koulibaly literally called John Terry and was like, "Bro, I want to wear your number 26," and left the season later. So, do they really that matter anymore once that's happened? I don't know. But yeah, aesthetic-wise, I think Madueke with 11 is quite nice. Jackson with 15, I saw some people comparing to Drogba's early number. Drogba had 15, so.
Why not? I like the 15. I'm not a fan of the 5, usually. I know I didn't mind it with Enzo, but I'm generally not a fan of the number. But 15 is kind of all right. Like you say, Drogba, it looked all right with Mudryk last year as well.
I tell you what, I found something really interesting, and I have a theory. So Badiashile took 5, right, when he was 4 last season, but 4 is also available. So I feel like when we sign Caicedo will have 5 and Badiashile will go back to 4. That's my theory.
Wow.
Because Enzo
still will go back to 4, you reckon?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's a temporary, and then Caicedo will take the 5.
Surely we would have just told him, mate, we're trying to sign Caicedo.
Well, yeah, we know that. He probably knows that anyway, but...
What shirt number was Caicedo? What does he wear at Brighton? Is it 4? Or...
No, I think it's like 25 or something.
I don't know, but I feel like Caicedo will be 5, Enzo will be 8. Like Enzo was 5 last season, wasn't it?
I mean, maybe Caicedo just takes the 4, innit? Do you know what I mean? Because
maybe. I just don't know why Badiashile changed one number. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, he probably just likes the number 5, so that's why I doubt he will change away from it again now that he's took it. But who knows? Yeah, and Caicedo does wear the number 25 with Brian. So yeah, I guess make of that what you will. And just to clarify something for a second, by the way, Pice. When I said with Mudryk, I don't actually have a problem with Mudryk himself having the 10, like you say, with the way our squad is. No one deserves any of the big numbers. It is what it is. I have a bit of, the 25 is retired. That is very true. So I don't want Caicedo to necessarily get the number 25. We already did that with Koulibaly last year and the 26. Let's leave Zola alone at least, please, for the love of God. Badiashile wore 5 at Monaco. Well, there you go. I wouldn't mind. Just give Caicedo the 4. Why not? Do you know what I mean? And he can have the 6 next year if you fancy it, if Thiago Silva leaves. But yeah, in terms of Mykhailo Mudryk taking the number 10, it's more the pressure for me where I'm like, it seemed a few times that pressure is one of the things that he struggles with a bit more than other things. So that's why, does he need the 10? Like Pulisic kind of crumbled under that. Willian crumbled under that a little bit. But also, he wears the number 7 for Ukraine. So if good old Sterling didn't steal this number 7 first before he leaves next year anyway, because let's be honest, the dude's going to be awful again. And then Mudryk could have just had the 7. But no, Sterling, I assume this went by who joined the club first. So then Sterling picked the 7. Then Mudryk didn't have the 7 left, took the 10 though. But then because Nkunku joined after Mudryk, then Nkunku couldn't take the 10 anymore. I know, didn't Nkunku have the 18 at Leipzig as well? So he might just like the 18, fair enough. But yeah, not really sure about that one. It's more like a pressure situation rather than that I mind which number exactly to have. But yeah, Sterling the 7. Meh. Don't really know about that one. And no, Charles, 26 wasn't retired, but officially, I don't think the 25 is retired either. I don't think we ever officially said that it is. But who knows? But yeah, I'm a fan of Enzo getting the 8, though. I like that. I do like that. Dams, your thoughts? Mudryk the 10, Sterling the 7, Enzo the 8. Obviously, Nkunku the 18. There's a few other smaller ones. I quite like that Chukwuemeka took the 17, though. I think that's quite good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Is that true? Right, yeah. Does Mudryk have the 10 for Ukraine? I thought it was the 7. I swear I saw him in the Ukraine shirt with the number 7. Mudryk.
No idea.
Just Google it. Oh, it's true. He has the 10. Or was that just in the under-21s World Cup?
I don't actually know, to be fair.
Oh, no. I take everything back I said about poor old Sterling. Mudryk seems to be wearing the 10 for Ukraine all the same. So fair play. Maybe he just wanted the 10 then. Fair enough. I also don't know what number he had at Shakhtar, if I'm being perfectly honest. Did he have the 10 there as well? He did have the 10 there. So maybe 10 is just this number. All right then. Fair enough. Fair enough. I just hope the pressure doesn't, hurt him in that sense. But yeah, also, 9. Sorry if I butchered your name, bro. Madueke the 11. I like that too. Sorry, Dams. I'll finally let you speak now. Go on.
Yeah, no, that's all right. Yeah, with regards to shirt numbers, like for me, I guess I'm not too bothered by who wears what, to be honest, just as long as they perform on the pitch. That's all I really care about. I mean, obviously, like the number 10 shirt is sort of special because you associate like the best players with the number 10. But I think it's kind of lost this meaning in a way with regards to other clubs, because I couldn't tell you, like, apart from maybe Harry Kane for Spurs, who wears the number 10, I honestly couldn't tell you where's the other 10 for the other clubs. Like De Bruyne is probably the best player for City. He doesn't wear the number 10, does he? He wears 17, I believe. So yeah.
Who has the 10 for City?
I don't even know. See, that's the thing. For me, it's just lost its value.
I swear Aguero had the 10, but have they given it to anyone since then?
For no clue. The chat can let us know, or Pies knows.
I think they might not have a 10, because Foden doesn't, does he? So who else would?
Yeah, no idea, bro. But I just think it's lost its meaning, to be honest. I think it's a lot of...
It's Grealish.
Oh, Grealish.
Oh, yeah, Grealish. Yeah. Sorry, yeah, of course.
Yeah, so I just think it's lost its meaning in a way. So I guess I'm not too fussed. And I think if this was maybe 10 to 12 years ago, I think there'd be much more pressure on, say, like Mudryk, Sterling, well, regards to like 7, 10, and also Madueke with 11, I guess, as well, given the players in the past that won those shirts for us. Even 17 with like Hazard as well back then for us. So yeah, as long as they perform on the pitch, I couldn't really care, to be honest.
No, fair play. Lee Taylor here says we also have a squad not dissimilar in size of the one we had last season, which is not wrong, but the big difference is the stature of players they are. The players now are all 12. Last season, they were all senior players. So they're obviously not 12. But there's a lot more younger players who are where it's much more okay, and they are going to be much more understanding without causing issues if they play a few games for the under-21s throughout the season. So yes, still a lot of numbers. Also, a few of them will still leave. Josias will still leave. Hudson-Odoi will still leave. A couple of the players that are of the younger ones will still leave on loan. Ugochukwu, I expect to still leave on loan. Maybe Moreira, we'll have to wait and see. Did he get a number? We need to scroll to the bottom. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, like I say, I'm pretty happy with most of them. Did Moreira get one anyway here? Ian Maatsen took the 29, which is all right, I guess.
23, bro. But I don't... Oh, no, is that for...
23 is Gallagher.
Oh, no, that's for... I think that's for his old club, actually. My bad.
May well be the case. Yeah. Surprised Wesley Fofana. I mean, I know he's injured right now, but surprised he didn't change, especially because Cucurella now got the 3. Because I assume Wesley Fofana has the 33 because he wants the 3. So I'm surprised he didn't take or get that, but fair enough, I guess. And yeah, it's kind of it, I guess. Axel Disasi with the number 2. Don't mind that either. I'm quite a bit of a sucker for aesthetics. So I'm always like, when someone has a long name, like a lot of letters, they should have a 2-digit number. And when someone has a short name, they should have a 1-digit number. For example, like Loftus-Cheek, as an example. He, in my opinion, doesn't fit a 1-digit number because the name's just too long. Same as Chukwuemeka. It wouldn't fit a 1-digit number. Reece James, though, in my opinion, the 24 is kind of getting iconic now. But aside from that, purely from aesthetics, he would kind of suit a 1-digit number better. So I'm a bit weird like that. But hey, here we are. It's another weird thing. Pies,
What numbers?
do you know
Robert
anything?
Sanchez,
What
by the way?
happened to Bettinelli all summer? Because he never even played, did he? He was never even in the squad. But like, he's still here as the backup goalie. So what's all this about?
What's Robert Sanchez's name? Number.
Bettinelli's just Sterling 11, really, I guess.
Literally, he got married earlier this summer, I think, and now he's just vibing. Didn't even do anything on pre-season. But yeah, Robert Sanchez has the 31 done, bro.
31. Oh, okay, calm.
There you go. Don't really care, really. I mean, backup goalie is usually like a 12, and since Ruben left, no one has the 12. So I guess he could have taken that, but I'm sure he had his reasons for taking the 31. Before we get to the sponsor, because that is positive news, I want to get the negative news out the way first. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. That would be massively appreciated. Hit that like button as well. That would be wonderful. It really helps me spread these streams out to more people. But let's get to the unfortunate man that is Christopher Nkunku. Chelsea didn't really say much, but we'll read through it quickly and then we'll get another tweet from Matt Law up as well on it, or from Pies by Matt Law. Chelsea Football Club has today released the following statement about Christopher Nkunku. Nkunku has sustained a knee injury, which will rule the forward out for an extended period. The 25-year-old has undergone an operation and will now begin a rehabilitation program with the club's medical department. Not fun at all. It's just another one of these bad pitches in the US, another one of these awful injuries. Now, I'm not even sure if this injury, you can really put it down to the pitch, if I'm being perfectly honest. But yeah, Matt Law obviously said has had surgery this morning and is likely to be out for 3.5 months. Unlikely to play before December. There was different reports. Some said, is MCL and meniscus? Is MCL just meniscus? Is meniscus collateral ligament? Is that what MCL stands for, right? Because there was also talk about the lateral ligament. So who knows which ligament it is? But my God, do I feel bad for the poor guy. I mean, I feel bad for us. For me, as a Chelsea fan, I feel bad. But for him especially, obviously had that really bad injury, making him miss the World Cup. Like, the season had already finished. He was with the France team preparing for the World Cup, gets injured, missed the World Cup, comes back not long before the end of the season, does well again, joins up with us, gets injured again. And fairly serious as well. So just really unfortunate. Unfortunate for us, unfortunate for him. And does anybody know, was the injury that he had before the World Cup, was that also the left knee? Or was that the right knee? And I'm not sure which is better, because on the one hand, it's like, okay, that if it's the left knee again, that makes me think maybe the left knee is a bit injury prone now. But if it's the right knee, I'm like, flip's sake, both knees are screwed. So, I guess there's not really a positive to look at this. But yeah, Pies, thoughts on Nkunku's injury? It's just, we couldn't buy luck if we wanted to, could we? Like, maybe we just need to go to pre-season to Ireland at some point, because this is not working out for us, is it?
No, it just describes typical Chelsea luck, to be honest with you. Yeah. Last game of pre-season, tries to win a penalty, goes over, was walking off as well, thought it'd be all right. Thought it'd maybe be a few weeks at worst, but I put a tweet out of all the games he could potentially miss. I think it's like 14 games. It's a lot of games.
And that we're not in Europe, so it would be a whole, 5 or 6 more if we were in the Champions League as well?
Yeah, and 3.5 months out, it's going to feel like 10 months, honestly, with the amount of, with only one game a week. But yeah, I mean, Chelsea probably have to react in the market now. We was going to get this attacking mid / sort of right wing player anyway, but we might need 2 now. We definitely need a starting attacking mid, because I don't think Chukwuemeka's going to start every game. So
hey, bro, we've got Gallagher.
Oh God, no! Please don't. Please don't.
Are you trying to? Are you trying to? It's not an ACL, Charles. It's not an ACL. It seems to be an MCL. Could be a lateral ligament. I don't know.
Well,
But,
whatever it is, he's not okay because he's out for 3.5 months.
yeah, but it's still better than an ACL. That would have been.
Yeah, it's much better, but it's just I just like
especially because you've got to consider. I mean, I'm not sure if Matt Law, because he said unlikely to play before December, but after being out for that long, you also got to give him some time to actually get fit. Like, he's not going to be able to play from, like, once he's physically healthy again, he will need maybe up to a month to be fit enough to actually play again. So
I'm almost lost.
Who knows if he'll play before Christmas?
Yeah, I'm almost lost for words, to be honest with you. I don't really know what to say. It's just terrible. Like, he's not even played a Premier League game for us yet, and it's just it's just a nightmare. Yeah, I don't really have many words, to be honest with you. I'm just shocked.
Yeah.
And not shocked at the same time, because these sorts of things only happen to us.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, Vic is apparently a doctor. It could be out for 6 months with MCL, but we don't know the extent of it, right? No one reported that he tore his MCL. They said it's an MCL injury. So, we can't just, we don't have the exact details. I don't think, because I agree with you. If he tore his meniscus, I would expect it to take longer than 3.5 months. I agree with you, but he might just not have torn it. But it might just be some sort of other injury, but they still need it to reconstruct it, to not risk it completely tearing in a few weeks or months' time. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Dums, I assume similar thoughts. We're all going to have similar thoughts on this one. It's just gutting, really, isn't it? For him, for us. Like, it was, maybe Talisman is a bit far, but he's the one kind of more experienced player that we brought in, who's not 12, who's 25, who's, played at PSG, played at Leipzig, won at least a German Cup with Leipzig, been there, kind of star player, yes, it's at a slightly lesser club than we are in Leipzig, but still was the main guy at the club and had that experience. So to lose him now, as we're just coming into this season, as we were all kind of getting a little bit more and more positive, it's just frustrating, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just annoying because we've done all this sort of pre-season prep to sort of get some sort of link up between Nkunku and the forward players, as well as linking the midfield. So, yeah, I guess Poch's plans have gone out the window in terms of building a team around Nkunku for at least 3 or 4 months. But I guess the only sort of positive I can think out of this is someone else gets a chance in that position, whether that's Chukwuemeka, God forbid Sterling or Gallagher. Those two obviously we don't want to see play in that position, but it looks like we're gonna have to see them play at some point in that position. So yeah, it's a bit. I think for Chukwuemeka, I think this is massive for him. Should take this opportunity as it comes if he obviously plays in that position. But yeah, I think I said to you boys yesterday that let's just be patient with Nkunku in terms of the recovery time. Let's not rush him back at all. Give him until at least January to fully recover. Then that way, say if we progress further into the cups, like the Carabao Cup and FA Cup, you can get a few minutes here and there. But we shouldn't be risking this guy because in the past he's haunted us with the injuries and stuff. So yeah, that's all I have to really say on Nkunku too. And it's just unfortunate again.
There you go. No, fair play. Fair play. I'm not sure on Adarsha's statement here that Vale is better than Sterling. But anyway, Dan with the super chat. I appreciate you very much. He says, Santos and Caicedo in the pivot, Enzo as the cam. I guess it's a shout. I think, obviously, Chukwuemeka as a 10 is an option. We might just buy another 10 or whatever. But, if we don't have Nkunku and we don't really have another perfectly suited 10, as much as I want us to have a formation and use that, could just play 4-3-3. I'm just saying, if we have a bit of an issue with, number 10, then just play a 4-3-3. Do you know what I mean? But I guess that is something to think about, to look at at a later point. Someone in the chat, first Lee said that Chelsea FCF reached out to Man City on the possibility of signing either one of Julian Alvarez or Phil Foden. Well, we're definitely not signing Phil Foden. It's from this guy who, according to, where is it? Mitch, a Twitter source has got a couple things right. Well, he's got 5,000 followers, so I might not take it too seriously. Let's say that. Especially because if he only went for Alvarez, I might even buy the thing. But he mentioned Phil Foden. Come on now. Let's be honest. But Pies, what do you think we should/will do in terms of the transfer market now? Because you're touching it now, who are we going to sign? What are we going to sign? What are we going to do now? Because obviously we were linked to Michael Olise. But he's also injured until apparently October, but no one really knows the extent of it because we're trying to find out from Palace and they're not really telling us. Not sure why we can't just ask Olise, but sure. So that's it would be kind of pointless to replace the injured Nkunku with the injured Olise. Kudus seems to be on his way to Brighton, and I think we shouldn't touch Kudus until we've got Caicedo done, because if we snap Kudus out of Brighton's hands, then they are even less likely to give us Caicedo, aren't they? So that isn't really an option. And then where are you? Like, people will know this. I wasn't really a fan of João Felix. I didn't really want to keep João Felix, but I tweeted this today. I'm like, with this situation and him being injured, I wouldn't be against it. I made a poll. It didn't go crazy, but still we have like 400 odd or whatever, 500 odd votes. Majority still said no. For me, if it's a loan, if it's a cheaper loan, especially because Atletico can't find anyone to sell him to, other than Saudi Arabia, and he doesn't really fully want to go there, I think. He wants to go to Barca, but they don't want him. If it's a cheaper loan than last year, like, I don't know, maybe 11 million for the whole year, 10 million for the whole year, something like that, I wouldn't be against it. Because, like, yeah, you can talk about Cherki, but Cherki has the same attitude and, hard work problems as João Felix does. But he's just much younger, much less experienced, doesn't know the team, doesn't know the league, and will only be a backup once Nkunku is back anyway. So maybe on that basis, Felix wouldn't be the worst idea. Because other than Cherki, Olise, and Kudus, who have we been linked to that really fits that position? I mean, we just loaned Angelo Gabriel out to Strasbourg as well. So that's one player that, okay, he's more of a winger, but still, it's one player that's in that attacking frame that's gone even. So what do you make of it? I know you're a fan of João Felix. Would you think that would be a smart one to go for in this situation now, or who would you have in mind?
Bro, I love João Felix, of course. I would do a loan plus option to buy any day of the week. I love João Felix. I think he's great at number 10. I think he can play on the sides. I think he can play up front. I think he's got bags.
Let's not play him up front, please.
And talent. No, honestly, like he was a game against. I know it was only Nottingham Forest, but I think he was quite good up front in that game. I just think he can play. Yeah, but we're gonna get another striker anyway, bro. In my opinion, so
as long as it's not Vlahovic.
Very likely, but.
Let's not say very likely, Pai.
Well, it looks very likely. I mean, I don't know where else we're going to get Lukaku gone to. So,
well, I still think if we just play hardball and wait until close to deadline day, Lukaku will go to Saudi Arabia. He'll just go there for a year and hope to get another easier deal another way then, rather than having to leave from us. But
yeah, I wonder if that offer's still even on the table though. Like, I don't know, but
well, they have many clubs there. I'm sure one of them will take him.
No, it'd be interesting to see what we do though, because like, I don't know if you want to get it up, but I did an Excel sort of sheet last night. I made something on Excel where I basically outlined our potential squad, and I had 27 players in that squad, and I think Poch sort of said between 25 and 27. So I don't think we're far off. And I included the likes of Vlahovic if we was going to get him. I included two new like attacking signings. So that would be 27 players.
But you excluded your likes of Hudson-Odoi, Ziyech, who are
I excluded the likes of them. But I don't know if you wanted to get that up because it's easier to show people. But
yeah, we'll get it up in a second.
Yeah, I think the links have not like it's weird because I know the club will be looking at different players who we've not even heard of yet. But I just think with Felix, it's like. It was an opportunistic signing last time. Like, I don't know if we're going to do it again because I'm pretty sure, like, Pochettino was like, no, right? I mean, that's probably why we didn't get him. But I don't know. There's not really... I mean, Cherki could come back up. I mean, Cherki would be a really good signing, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, and I hear that what the Freezy said in the chat here as well. 4 goals, no assists. He looked nice, but that's it. While I agree with that, Noni Madueke had 1 goal and 1 assist? Like, and everyone's hyping him. Like, I'm not saying Madueke isn't good, or I'm not saying Felix is great. It's just I was against Felix as well, but the situation, in my opinion, has just changed now with Nkunku's injury because he's not gone permanently, but we still need to replace that first choice. And Felix, in my opinion, suits that build. If he improves under Poch, because let's not also forget, Mudryk didn't do anything. So if we just say, Felix wasn't good last season, if we go by that, then we should sell everyone that we have already. Mudryk shouldn't be here then. I mean, okay, Jackson is different, Jackson is new, but then Madueke doesn't deserve to be either if we're going by like, didn't score enough goals or whatever else. Like, you can say that about the whole attack then, other than Jackson, that they're not good enough and this and that. Do you know what I mean? So Dexter in the chat says here, Florian Wirtz, of course, wonderful player. But when Nkunku is back, then what the fuck do you do? If you have Wirtz and Nkunku, that's not going to be good. Like, yes, you need depth, but you can't overdo it with all young players, all in the same position. There's no benefit from that, in my opinion. So that's why I think with this situation being the way it is now, Felix would be a good option. I understand that Poch was also against it, but Poch decided against it when he thought he'd have Nkunku. Like that, in my opinion, would change also. I'm not saying that means he now wants Felix, but if it's just alone, and then we'll just see if he does better, great. Maybe we consider buying him permanently. If he doesn't do better, well, then it's just another loan. Do you know what I mean? As long as he doesn't get himself sent off with a stupid red card on his first game again.
I tell you what, on this sheet I did last night, I think, because I put on there at the moment, I've got like new attacking mid and then like Nkunku, Chukwuemeka, Gallagher. That's probably too much. I think what might happen is we might get that new attacking mid slot. So he'll now become the starter. And then, it could also be someone that could obviously deputise to Madueke. So he'd start in 10. And if we wanted Chukwuemeka to play there while Nkunku's injured, then that guy could also start on the wing. So we may actually still only sign that one sort of attacking mid/right wing. But I'd be interested because Fabrizio has hinted it could change some things on the market. And Nkunku wasn't just any signing, right? This was a signing that definitely, inside the club they thought was going to be a game changer. So I don't really know if you supplement that with just sort of the one signing that was planned anyway, or whether you go, maybe you get one signing, but it's a big signing, they go bigger. I don't know. But I think it's interesting. This is probably what our squad roughly is going to be. I think you can maybe chop out a couple, but I think probably is what it's going to be roughly.
Yeah.
And when we can debate on the colour codes all day if we want.
Yeah, we can.
Oh, yeah, we definitely will, bro.
Dybala is a shout. Available for 12 million, apparently, with that release clause that he has.
I think it's expired now.
It's expired now, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how much more Roma would ask for him in that situation, but in this scenario, maybe potentially something to think about, Damesh. What do you think about this? Do you think we need to sign kind of a first choice 10 now that Nkunku is gone? Do you think Felix would kind of suit that bill on another loan, or what would you do? Now, Dash just mentioned Cherki again. Like I say, possible, but if you're against Felix, you should be against Cherki because they have the same issues. Now, Cherki might be a little bit more because he had a really good output season in France this year, sure. But if we're talking about work rate and not suiting Poch, that applies to Cherki all the same, arguably more because Felix has at least worked under Simeone and for the most part still played all the time. So to me, I find it weird when people say, go for Cherki but not Felix, because then I'm like, no, then you don't have reasons. Then you just don't want Felix, but want a different player without any reasoning in my books. But hey, is what it is. Damesh, how do you see that one?
Yeah, I see the whole situation being just go and sign whoever, to be honest, because at the end of the day, this needs to benefit the team. And we can't be sort of relying on Nkunku to come back fit again properly and start firing. I know. Obviously, we've put massive stocks into Nkunku doing well for us, but it's only pre-season. But let's be real about it. It's only been 4 or 5 games he's played for us, and he's not even played proper Premier League football yet. So we don't even know if he's going to do well in the Premier League. We don't know that for a fact. So we should go out and sign someone who will challenge Nkunku or who will be better than Nkunku, to be honest. And that's the way I see it, to be honest. But the market out there for number 10s at the moment. Sorry, what was that, bro?
Who do you have in mind for that?
See, one of my options, obviously, it's been taken now, but I would have gone for James Maddison as one of the choices, possibly. But that's obviously not possible now because he's obviously at Tottenham now. But just looking in my head, obviously there's Neymar who can play the number 10, but let's be real, are we really going to get Neymar? I don't know. There's also this is going to sound wild, and me and wild takes.
He's going to say James Ward-Prowse, isn't he?
No, I'm not. No. I was actually going to say someone like a Musiala, for example. If we were to just throw a bid in there, see what happens for Musiala.
I mean, if we've got a spare 200 million, maybe.
I mean, another one. I think if we don't sign Elise, maybe Eze is a shout. maybe.
Eze is a
Not
very
sure.
good shout. Yeah, Eze is a very good
But
shout.
he's not as good as Olise, though, is he? So why would I want Palace's not best player?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but would
I
they
don't
want
know.
to
They're
sell
both very
It's
another
talented.
one
good
of the
still.
assets?
Like, don't get me
So-
wrong, I like Eze actually, but
Yeah, I think at the moment the João Felix thing looks the most feasible option for us because I think I personally think he'll do well for us under Poch. Obviously with different managers last season, I don't think that suited Felix in a way. And obviously Felix has to do more himself in a way, but I think under Poch playing in the number 10, I think he could do really well for us. But yeah, I think that's probably the one realistic one we could possibly go for. But as I said, let's just throw a bid in for Musiala. Why not? I'd like we might get rejected. I know it seems very unlikely, but you can't help but not try. What's the point otherwise?
I mean, Musiala would be mental, but I don't know. I don't know about that one if that's possible. I don't know.
No,
Why would he want
it's
to
very
leave
unlikely,
Bayern for us?
but why
You know
not?
what I mean?
If we have the money, why not? If we have the money,
Because the player might not want to, bro.
You never know. We don't know.
I mean, you never know. You could ask him, but you know, you've been here before, and he's not here anymore now. Make of that what you will. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, bro. No James Ward-Prowse mentions the name, bro. Or maybe even.
To be fair, hey, I'd rather you suggest Musiala than you suggest Ward-Prowse. So you know. But yeah, it's a weird one. It's a weird one. I don't really know what we're going to do. I mean, the freeze you said earlier, it's going to be Caicedo and that's it. I doubt that. We're definitely going to bring in 2, 3, maybe 4 players. But, you know, we'll have to wait and see who that's going to be and how exactly that is going to go. Let me take this one off the screen. And I guess we just hinted at it. I want to finish it off with the whole sponsorship talk, so we'll get to that at the end. Ladies and gentlemen, over 300 people watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button for me right now. Let's get to at least 150 likes. Really helps me spread these streams out to more people, and it's just one click of a button that does go through any time or any money. Over the last couple of days, obviously this wasn't today, but Caicedo first missed the game for Brighton, the pre-season game. Brighton tried to claim it was an injury. It isn't an injury. Then he's missed training. Essentially, he's finally pushing. Seems like that hasn't really changed anything in Brighton's mind, but we are also apparently preparing a new bid. Hopefully that bid comes in soon, and then we just get it accepted and we get this deal done, because my God, I am bored of this. There's been a few polls and debates the last couple of days about what saga has been more annoying, the Enzo one or the Moises Caicedo one. Some people seem to think Enzo. For me, it's so clearly Caicedo, I can't even put it into words how much more annoying I find this one. First of all, I'm dealing with a Premier League club who are just dickheads. Second of all, like the other one was at least Benfica, you know, in their own right, in their own country, a huge club. Benfica, I think, either the highest or the second highest amount of members of any football club in the world. Like, they are ginormous, you know? Them lot being like playing hardball for like a player is fair enough. They didn't promise Caicedo he could leave. They only signed Enzo 6 months first. So I understand that. And that only took 1 month, all of January. Caicedo, we were interested in since January. It's now the fucking 8th of August and we still haven't got it done. So to me, Caicedo is most certainly more annoying. But I'm really glad to hear that Caicedo is trying to do something about it now. Don't understand why he didn't do that 2 weeks ago, but sure. Better late than never, I guess. Pais, you were kind of pessimistic the other day when someone asked from 1 to 10, how confident are you? You answered with 0. The next day you said 9. Where do you sit now? Because nothing's happened since that 9. Are we back to like 7 or 5, or where do you sit on it now?
Yeah, I've been doing my sliding scale. It's been going up and down like a fucking yo-yo lately, honestly.
It's just doing, Pais just doing squats, do you know what I mean?
Bro, you make us shit us up when you say 0, man. Don't be saying that, man.
Bro, honestly, I was like a 0 the other day, because I was like, nothing is happening. Then it all sort of came out. I don't wait, what did make me chat? I can't even remember now. There's been so many twists and turns, but yeah, I'm probably down to like a 7 at the moment, because you know the Brighton CEO is saying there's still a lot of time left in the window, which kind of makes me feel like, you know, they're still going to long out the bidding process. But you know, he's missing training, so I guess that's, you know, like that's really positive. But at the same time, that could annoy Brighton. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of in the fence, and I want to see what our next bid is, and you know, try and get him before Liverpool. Well, it's Wednesday tomorrow, guys. Chop chop. You know, get the bid in. Be serious. It's taking the piss a little bit here. You know, I don't really want to play Gallagher against Liverpool. Thanks.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine that Liverpool press against Gallagher. Oh my days, man.
Yeah. But it's not even that, bro. Like, can we just have a settled, like, you know, can we just have
a midfield, man? Like, could have just kept Ruben until now. Do you know what I mean? Could have just sold Ruben in August. No need to sell him in June, was there? My days. But yeah, Dom's happy that at least Moises Caicedo is trying something himself, pushing, because as much as Pi said it could annoy Brighton, but at the same time, like, everything annoys Brighton. So it doesn't really make a difference at this point. But Caicedo did also make a post in January and they didn't let him leave. So I'm not sure if Caicedo doing anything means anything to Brighton, because they don't seem to give two shits about nothing. They just, I wonder if Brighton get at least annoyed by seagulls. I know they're called the seagulls, but no one in Brighton likes seagulls. So I really just hope the seagull shits on Tony Bloom's head.
Used to it.
That's what I hope for.
Yeah, they're used to it, man. They're probably used to hearing them every day, man. Stealing the fish and chips.
That's why I hate them, though. I mean, man. It's like with you have pigeons everywhere. It's annoying.
Yeah, but yeah, like the Caicedo deal, I'm so confident this will get done, man. Like, honestly, like if Pies was a 7, I'm picking 10, man, for this. Like, this is getting done, 100%, man. Like, we've gone so far into it. There's no way at all that we pull out of this deal now. With the fact that he's saying that he wants to leave, all that stuff about the award stuff. He said that, basically, I don't want to be here anymore as well, in front of everyone. And it's so obvious. I couldn't tell you when it's going to happen. I mean, I did say Tuesday is going to happen. Today's Tuesday. You never know. Still got 4 or 5 hours left of the day. But yeah, this next bid has to be it, man. Has to be it. And that has to be the final one that sort of gets Caicedo in the bag for us. But yeah, like you said, like we have to get him all fit and ready for Liverpool, man. Like, I don't believe all this injury stuff as well. I don't know about you boys or the chat, but I don't believe he's injured at all. And
I really don't. I agree with you. I'm confident that it will get done. I might not say 10 just because, I don't want to look like a mug, but 8 or 9, I am with that. But I don't think before Liverpool. Like, we might have an agreement before Liverpool, but he will not be here in time for Liverpool. I'm very confident of that.
Yeah, and also, like, I think with the squad that we've got, this is just sort of off topic, but like, I think we're maybe a 6th or 7th sort of Premier League team at the moment. But I think with Caicedo coming in, I think that automatically takes us to the Champions League places. I don't know if you guys agree with that or the chat agrees with that, but I think Caicedo and Enzo and possibly Nkunku towards the second half of the season as a midfield sort of 3 in a way, with that sort of pivot and the 10. I think that definitely takes us to Champions League football next season for sure.
Hopefully.
I think that signing will be a massive statement and a massive big difference for us, I think.
I mean, it would be great, wouldn't it? Would be great. On that note, signings, we have kind of made a signing today, as Fabrizio gave us here we go, for David, with the weirdest spelling, Washington, from Brazil. No, he's not American. He's not English. He's not, I don't know, from Australia or something. No, he's Brazilian, called David Washington. I think he's a striker, if I'm not mistaken on that post. But yeah, chances are he will go to Strasbourg or somewhere else on loan. Doubt he will be in the first team squad. But hey, we've made another signing before we've signed Caicedo, so that's brilliant.
What's that?
Basically, just we've signed Washington. We've made another signing before Caicedo. Brilliant.
I was on.
He's a striker, right? Is that correct? Or
he is a striker. I was on the weekly space of Alex Goldberg, and a Brazilian expert joined, and he did tell me how to pronounce his first name. It's not David, but I forgot. So, but yeah, I mean, it's cool. Whatever,
Yeah,
maybe
exactly
it's one for the future. I don't know.
Just whatever. I don't have a tweet up for this now, but Angelo Gabriel has also been sent on loan to Strasbourg, so good luck to him. I really liked him in pre-season. Wouldn't have minded if he stuck around, but hey, it is what it is. I don't mind him going out on loan to over there either. I guess just quickly, Fabrizio reported we are currently looking at Leicester City or Genoa in Serie A for Casadei loan. What would you prefer, Damesh, a Championship or a Serie A loan? Because he already did Championship last season and tore them to shreds at Reading for the last 3 months of the season. Why would he have to do another Championship loan? I understand Leicester obviously going to fight for promotion, so I guess that is a positive compared to like a relegation fighting team in the Premier League if we loaned him to that. Yeah, but I don't know. I mean, Serie A has obviously not had the best track record for us recently, but I'd still prefer a top flight loan than a second division loan, no matter the country. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a tough one, actually. I think for me personally, I'd rather he go to Leicester. Purely for the reasons that you said. Obviously, they're right in contention to come up for next season, even though obviously the season just started. They're clear favourites to win the Championship this year. So, and obviously if they do come up and stuff, we could maybe see then if he still wants to stay on loan. and then maybe get Premier League experience. And yeah, I just think Serie A has just lost its sort of like physicality. I mean, it was never sort of a physical league anyway, but I think even now it's just proper slow, and I don't think that will suit Caicedo in a way. But yeah, if Leicester do come up next year, he could play Premier League football on loan for us next year as well. I think which will be
but then he'd have to stay there for 2 seasons though.
Yeah, but he's still young, isn't he? Like we shouldn't rush to get these players sort of into the first team. Let's sort of ease them in, follow that sort of model that Pep sort of done with Foden. I think that's the perfect scenario of what you do with a young player. To be honest, someone who can learn off, someone who can play with, basically. So yeah, I'd be more than happy to see Caicedo go on loan to Leicester City, or even arguably another sort of championship club that are fighting promotion this season.
Yeah, fair enough. Pies, how do you see that one? Would you prefer a championship loan or, well, a Leicester loan, or instead a top flight loan somewhere else? How do you see that one? Like I say, in an ideal world, I would prefer a top flight loan, but a champion, like a team in the championship that will fight for promotion is also good. So I don't mind either. If I'm honest, maybe like adapting more and more to England, Leicester loan will be better in that sense. Same thing was already at Reading last season. So I don't know. How do you see it?
I'd prefer him to stay in England, to be honest with you. I think Leicester are one of the favourites to get promoted, if not through the playoffs. I think he would help them a lot with goals as well. And the manager's new. I think they're playing a new system and stuff. So I'd be interested to see that. I think their manager's also Italian, which I think is the connection there. So I think that'd be quite a nice loan to Leicester, to be honest with you.
But I hate Leicester. Ever since that Amati thing, I don't want to give them.
Yeah, I don't like Leicester either. Their fans boo our players as well. They're kind of weird,
exactly. So why would we give them anything?
But maybe we need to return the favour after they give us some players. Although the player they give us, Fofana's very injured.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. Have Fofana back. He's not constantly injured anyway.
But yeah, no.
80 mil we paid for him to be injured for a season straight, basically. Poor Fofana. I feel so bad for all of these guys. Sorry, I keep interrupting.
I don't really know anything about Genoa, to be honest with you. I'd probably keep him not Prem, but like England. Prem would be ideal, but yeah, keep him in England. Don't send him out on loan to Italy, because I think even Ampadu's loans. I think obviously Genoa are better than Spezia and wherever else Ampadu went, but
but it's still different because Cesar is Italian. Ampadu is Welsh. Do you know what I mean?
It's different, but I don't know how much that helps us comparative to especially because at Leicester, Caicedo will actually be playing with some decent players, and I think the championships are really
playing with arguably better players at Genoa than he is in Leicester in the championship.
No, I think they got Mavropanos, who they signed in Ligue 1. They got Vardy. Yeah, they signed him.
He had a team of the season last year.
He did.
How's a championship team signing a team of the season from Ligue 1? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, they got him quite cheap as well, I think. But yeah, I would send him to Leicester if I could.
Fair dues. Yeah, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what I want. We'll see what happens with him, I suppose. Next bit of news that I guess we should talk about is a little bit concerning. This has come out today, and maybe I should highlight that other thing, which I don't have it quite ready yet. But the Times reported that a Premier League investigation into transactions by Chelsea during Roman Abramovich's era will include scrutiny of payments of millions of pounds to secret offshore companies. The Times have learned. And I bring up another tweet on this now, which is kind of follow up. Pice, I must criticize. You should have done this as a thread. Would have made it much easier. Anyway, even though any rule breaches would have been under the previous ownership, the club could face sanctions from the Premier League, such as heavy fines and points deductions. And we've learned it's all Andreas Christensen's fault, and Lewis's essentially. Payments to the father of Andreas Christensen, who was signed in 2012, are expected to be investigated. To be honest, I'm not surprised by this one bit, because we signed Christensen to our academy back when this whole thing was dodgy. And I mean, in hindsight, we got a transfer ban for signing 16-year-olds. Do you know what I mean? And that's essentially what Christensen was at the time. So I was always surprised we didn't really, see that, or didn't really get any issues with that in the first place. But yeah, this is a really tough one, because the country, the government of the UK forced Abramovich to sell the club. So they literally took it out of his hands. So as much as I understand we were under his things then, and we broke footballing rules potentially, and now we're still the same football club. The government took the ownership of Abramovich away. So why on earth should the club that the government took out of the ownership's hands be punished for things that the old ownership did? Like, to me, that contradicts itself. Like, it's not like Roman just fancied selling us, then fair enough. No, he was forced to sell us. I don't think we should, like, the reason was because of certain legal incriminations with the obviously connections to Russia and Putin, whatever else. But we will be, but I just really don't think we should be punished like this in a sense, because I'm like, well, you already punished us with the whole sanctions because we had Roman. So you shouldn't punish us in hindsight for things Roman did when you already punished us. Like, you already screwed us over tenfold. Do you know what I mean? With, we had to close all the shops down. We had to close the hotel down. We had to essentially close half the club down. That cost us so much in terms of also the timing wise of when it was. Like, literally a whole season where the ownership couldn't prepare for nothing and trying just all shit players last summer, and they were all dreadful, really. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a bit of a shambles. But personally, I don't think we will get a points deduction. There will be a fine, but I don't think it's just going to be something that we should be too worried about. It's just one of those things where I'm like, it's just the media scaremongering a little bit. Especially because, if you remember, I don't have this ready to bring up now, unfortunately. I have a screenshot of it here, but I don't know if maybe I can download it quickly and then show it. Because when we signed, or when the ownership bought us, they kind of put 100 million to the side, if that makes sense. There you go. To cover potential liabilities. And this, to me, is exactly what this is going to be. They're going to fine us. We're going to pay this with this extra 100 mil that we put aside when they bought the club, and it's going to be okay.
£100 million is insane, by the way. If we actually get that much,
no, we're not going to get fined all of that, but they're probably because we already paid something recently, didn't we? 10 million to UEFA.
Yeah, that was UEFA, and now the Premier League are investigating.
Yeah. Exactly. So maybe it's going to be another 10 mil here. Maybe it's a bit more than that. So, we have money ready, and I think it's going to be like that. I don't think it's anything to worry about, but obviously the media will paint it in a picture like we're the bad guys again, as they always do, as they tried to do when we sold a couple of players to Saudi Arabia. Just weird how no one's questioned Liverpool. I mean, they literally sent Gerrard as a manager there, and then they bought Jordan Henderson from them on 700k a week. If that's not dodgy, I don't know what the fuck is. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, Pies, how do you see it? Do you think it's going to be much of a worry for us, or just one of those things, especially if we had this pre-planned? It doesn't worry me too much. What about you, though?
I feel like it's one of those stories that hits the media when the ownership probably already knew about it. So this shows. I don't think it's too much of a worry. I mean, in terms of money, yeah, sure. I mean, it's not good, but. And of course, what perhaps Abramovich did do, I think another bit of information was one of the examples was that the Premier League were going to investigate the payment sent to Andreas Christensen's dad when we signed him in 2012. So this is a long-standing thing, maybe over the course of the ownership, but the Abramovich ownership. But yeah, I mean. They've probably been prepared for it for a while, and the Times, they always scaremonger with points deductions and that sort of thing. I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, there you go. I see it similarly. Damesh, how do you see it? Does this scare you when you read that, or is it just? On the one hand, I would say, they're always like that. But at the same time, that was also my initial reaction when the stuff in early 2022 came out. And I thought, nah, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Well, it wasn't fine. So I hope this time it's going to be more fine than last time. I will say that. But like I say, we had that UEFA thing over the summer where we had to pay 10 million because of some false accounting that was made in the old ownership, and kind of Chelsea flagged it to UEFA. Well, by the way, something's dodgy here, so we'll pay 10 mil. So it's fine. It's probably going to be something like that, isn't it?
These journalists are literally bored, man. They're literally just trying to throw us under the bus, honestly, just because the amount of sort of spending that we're doing or potentially going to spend with obviously Caicedo coming out. I think it's just a story that's just cooked up. I mean, if we have done things that were wrong, really wrong, then we can't really defend that as sort of fans. If we've genuinely done something wrong, then we just have to suck it up, I guess. But at the same time, I mean, they've sanctioned us so much. It's just really, is this really necessary? Wasn't this enough? It's not obviously Boehly and Nick fault this stuff's happened. It's obviously under the previous owner. So it's like when you buy a house, for example, if something's damaged by the previous owner, that's not your own fault, is it? in the house. It's the previous owner's fault for leaving it in that state. So
the problem is
it's
we are not the new owners. We are the house. You know, like the football club is
the owners of the
house.
Like, no,
I get that. I get it, but you can't exactly fine Roman for it anymore because they took it away from him. So he's going to be like, well, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I totally get what you're saying, but it's just like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm usually the one that says this, but what made you say it now, Sula? But fair enough.
Because we haven't bid for Caicedo this week.
It's true. So we'd stand the out. Pais, I think I need to ask you this question because otherwise Ibrahim is going to literally jump through my screen and attack me because he's asked about 17 times now. Is there a Turkey up there? I know there isn't, but he asks so much. I need you to tell him that there isn't.
No, bro, sorry, there isn't. Nothing for like a good month or so now. The last report we had was from Nathan Gissing, who said that the club didn't necessarily perhaps rate Turkey's attitude, whatever that means, you know, but yeah, I've also read.
Seemingly, we're still interested in this Wahi striker guy who's done some dodgy business when he was a kid. So I don't know about what attitude we care about.
Yeah, I mean, look, keep an eye out. You know, on my page, you never know. Links might come back up now and can
exactly. Follow Pais. Link to his website's down in the description. Do you know what I mean, Ibrahim? You get involved. Get involved. But yeah, I hope you're satisfied now, Ibrahim. You don't usually abide by people just saying 15 things in the chat, but hey, here we are. But yeah. With enough negative stuff out of the way, I think it's about time we get into talking about the big thing of today. Sure, Nkunku's injury, but I tried to focus on positives. We have a shirt sponsor. According to Lukas Bacek, who was, according to Pais, the first one to hear about that stake sponsorship situation. So he seems to know what he's on about, even though Jacob Steinberg has, since this has been said that the deal with Infinite Athlete is not done yet, but in my opinion, Jacob Steinberg does a lot of waffle this summer. So let's see. There's been a lot of different, it's been from in the nose, it's been from different sources, but also from this guy who, if you want to read it there, he's head of marketing at Intelli, Sportico, Top 50. Like, this is the branch of work that he works in. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, according to him, Chelsea have finalized a front of shirt sponsorship deal worth close to £50 million a year with US-based tech company Infinite Athlete. The breakthrough turned out to be negotiations during the club's US tour. This is the third highest deal in the Premier League after Manchester City and Liverpool. And essentially, it's the second highest bid because the Man City one is just their own company sponsoring them. So that doesn't count. So I'm surprised that United's deal with TeamViewer isn't bigger, but fair enough. There was also some Arsenal fans in the comments of here saying their deal is bigger. So who knows if it's the third biggest. But it's bigger. And it's bigger, a whole 10 million bigger than the deal we had with Free was. That was 40 million a year. And now this seems to be 50 million a year. What we don't know at this moment in time is how long the deal was. Or how long the deal is. Is it a 5-year deal? Is it a 1-year deal? Who knows? Considering it's more than we had on the 3 deal, I don't think it's going to be a 1-year deal, but who knows? At the same time, and I'll scroll through this and we'll look at their website as well later. Who even are Infinite Athlete? Because I've never heard of them. I'm sure none of you have ever heard of them. There's another company called Infinite Athlete who have a completely different logo, which is quite funny. But Lucas explains it here. Infinite Athlete is the new parent company formed after sports operating systems Tempus X Machina acquired athlete safety engineering firm Biocore last week. Chelsea and Tempus commenced a 7-year partnership last spring in a deal that seeks to enhance the fan experience. So Infinite Athlete is a new parent company of a company that we already have a partnership with. But Biocore, who's obviously a safety engineering firm, maybe they came with extra money. And yeah, it's apparently for football analytics and club operations as well. But yeah, so interesting. Did he reply to him? No. I was just wondering. But yeah, what do we make of it? Obviously, on the thumbnail, I have the Infinite Athlete logo on our this season's shirt on Mykhailo Mudryk's chest. On that one, it's in gold. Unfortunately, for the reality, it seems to be that the sponsorship writing on the shirt will be in white, not gold, which, in my opinion, doesn't look as good as it could do. But I like the logo. I like the font of the writing. I even like having both of it, not just the writing, not just the logo. I think having both next to it looks quite good. 50 million a year, more than we had with 3 when we were in the Champions League. I don't mind it. I am pretty happy with that. And, well, I've mostly criticized Win Stanley and co. But, I want to give a bit of props if this turns out to be the case to the ownership, because obviously we were all a bit critical when the stake thing was, being talked about, and we were going to agree to that, and it was less money than this is now. So thank God we didn't agree to it, and thank God the fans were against it. That's good. We obviously had the Paramount Plus deal stopped by the Premier League, so that's not ideal, is it? But they still managed to figure out a way. They took their time. They found a way to get us a sponsor who pays well, looks good. So in the grand scheme of things, I am pretty happy. Pice, thoughts? I really don't mind. It's like the company is obviously a bit questionable. Their Twitter, I can bring it up later as well. As a whole, 1,200 followers. I mean, it's a new brand, I guess, as explained here. New parent company formed. It's still a bit dodgy. It seems like we literally formed this to have a sponsor with a decent logo and font and stuff. And we just found someone to give us extra money. Like there was also talk about us looking for extra investors to just bring up more cash flow or whatever. So I don't know if there's any dodgy business to it, but honestly, as long as it's not morally dodgy, any like human rights stuff in the Middle East, any, betting stuff, which, constant advertising to also underage people. So as long as it's not stuff like that, when I see what City do with their dodgy sponsors, when I see what Newcastle do with their dodgy sponsors, which are just sponsors of their owners, essentially, then I'm not going to sit here and be too, upset about if there is some slightly dodgy business going on here. At the end of the day, if they pay us good money, there's nothing crazy like wrong going on with that company, and it looks good on the shirt. What more can I really want? Do you see it similarly, Pice, or what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I'm really positive on this one. To get 10 million more than what we had when we was in the Champions League is quite impressive. I think we kind of expected this to happen though, because this was their area of expertise, business and partnerships, sponsorships, that type of thing. This is what they want to do. They want to grow the revenue and grow the brand. As long as we don't get any sort of, this flags up in 5 years, oh yeah, this was a dodgy sponsorship, then I think it'll be all good. I hope it's actually a 1-year deal, just because I think if we can manage to get £50 million deal when we're not in the Champions League, if we're in some sort of European competition the season after next, then I think we could probably even get even more, to be honest with you. So, Chris Jurasek, I think, was heavily involved in this. Obviously, if anyone don't know who he is, the owners employed him. I think it was about a month ago. So he did work for Clear Lake Capital, and they basically employed him to lead the search because was it Tom Glick and that? I think they got rid of him due to some dodgy dealings with something else, wasn't it? If I remember right. So there's been a lot of changes and it's been a long wait, but this is positive. It's definitely positive, and it's an extra positive that not only the money's good, like you said, I think it looks good as well. That's a really important thing. I think it's clean, I just can't wait to see it on the actual sort of players as well, because I think that's when you get like a real good idea whether, most people buy the kit, but that can be the deal breaker sometimes for people.
Yeah, absolutely. I still wish I could get it without a sponsor, but at least the sponsor will look good. I still think it will be much nicer in gold, but I guess because the badge and the Nike tick are so fluorescent and luminescent, when they shine green or blue or pink, and then you have a gold sponsor, maybe then that actually also looks weird. I guess we'll have to wait and see. And yeah, the Frisia Jacob Steinberg did say that. But yeah, to me, Jacob Steinberg is like Idrissa says, a Gabriel Vega merchant and a waffle in the summer. Absolutely, I agree. I think myself and Pies have heard this from too many other people that it's a done thing and that pictures were even taken with the sponsor on it today that I just cannot see. I guess obviously we could have printed it just in case we do get it done, and in case it doesn't get done, we have to take new pictures, I suppose. But yeah,
you just got to go through like Prem approval and that sort of thing, and then I think it'll be like official.
Which, to be honest, as we've seen with Paramount Plus, could be an issue. But we have to wait and see on that one. Damesh, same questions to you, really. What do you think of it? Good money? Look good, in your opinion, as well? Question. And yeah, Percy wasn't happy with me saying, Europe colonized the world. I'm like, well, yeah, but hundreds of years ago, and there was plenty of packed of all sorts of places where European countries paid all sorts of money to these other places. And it wasn't in 2023, for fuck's sake. I can't complain about it happened 300 years ago, man. What the flip? What are these comparisons?
Let's not bring history into it, man.
There's nothing more. There's no better proof that what's going on is wrong if you're comparing it to colonialism 300 years ago and therefore justifying what's happening right now. No, that was wrong. Colonialism was wrong. It's done. It's in the past. Thankfully, there's no colonialism anymore. If there was, we'd be having uproar about that too, for flip's sake. Anyway, Dams, Infinite Athletes, as much as we don't know about it, at least looks good, I guess, and they pay well, seemingly.
Yeah, I mean, obviously saw the pictures on Twitter of what the sort of new sponsor on the kit would look like. Like, I personally prefer it in if it was gold. But yeah, just thank God we don't have that sort of like 3 sponsor where at the start where we just get bantered for like conceding 3 goals. I still remember that West Ham one we lost 3-2. I think it's one of the first times we wore the free sponsored shirt, and it's obviously we lost 3-2 that game, and then obviously like Twitter and Instagram were going mad. Well, I wasn't on Twitter back then actually, but I know like Instagram and stuff like that, it was just going around that we conceded 3 like every time, and we conceded 3 a lot that season. But yeah, I'm just glad we don't have the 3 to us because it just doesn't look good.
3 a lot every season, it feels like.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's very true as well. But yeah, it does look good. It's quite interesting that we've gone for like a smaller sort of brand. I mean, you never know. This could obviously benefit themselves as well as us. But as you said as well, Laurenz, like push some more sort of like shirt sales through, because I think people sort of prefer it when there's a sponsor in the middle. And yeah, this is sort of like links to Chelsea in a way, where it's like infinite athlete, obviously footballers are athletes as well. So it's not where like you just have random betting sponsor in the middle.
Exactly.
Or like
I remember. Well, I mean, we'll talk about some adult page, like what is it?
Yeah, literally, like
there was talk about that as well. That we had an offer.
Are Reading still sponsored by Waitrose or something like that? Or
who?
Reading.
Are they? That's funny.
Yeah, I think they used to be sponsored by Waitrose, and it's just like what the hell? Like, it's just the most random thing on a football kit.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if Fulham was sponsored by Waitrose, fair enough. But Reading?
Yeah, it's so weird. But like, I'm just glad that we haven't gone for anything sort of like that where it's just irrelevant. But I guess the words infinite athlete actually look like relevant to like, I know it sounds really dumb and stuff, but it actually links to football in a way, or links to us in some way. So yeah, and I guess the logo looks good as well. Something a bit different. So yeah.
I can't believe I'm having to have a discussion about colonialism. Yes, the independence of a lot of these countries happened a lot more recently. But the start of the problem started hundreds of years ago. Colonialism just unfortunately lasted a very long time. But regardless of that, it's still in the past because everyone understood it was wrong. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, I can bring let's quickly show how it would look on the shirt. Obviously, what you guys might have seen on the thumbnail, that's in gold. In my opinion, that would look wonderful. Fortunately, it isn't going to be in gold. I have a couple of pictures to show you guys where you can see it in white as well. And that was the first one. Not the best edit, this one, but it looks all right. And on this one, I think it looks quite sexy, you know, on this one. When the badge here looks a bit pink with that lighting, and then you have the white sponsor with it, looks really good. It just depends on what light the badge gives off, on whether the white or the gold fits better, I guess. So maybe because it's a bit more neutral, the white works out. I don't have too many complaints. I guess what I can bring up is their Twitter page, just to, you know, so we can talk about how small they are. Like I say, 1,200 followers, infinite athletes. Their website.
I had 100, by the way. When I followed them, I had 100.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You know, obviously, it makes the rounds, doesn't it? And let me bring up their website quickly as well. It's even infiniteathlete.ai. So the website was probably created about 3 days ago. But yeah. Who is Infinite Athlete? Our mission is to build an operating system for sports that powers infinite innovation, makes sports better for the fan, the game, and the athlete. Born out of the idea that the world can do better in all aspects of sports and life events, the fan, the game, the athlete experience, Infinite Athlete's goal is to create a single technology foundation across all major sports upon which innovative sports technology and media products can be built. This foundation will combine and connect sports data from all sources, which will create infinite possibilities. Infinite Athlete was established in 2023 after the merger of Tempus Ex Machina and Biocore, whatever LLC stands for. I forget. But yeah, so even their whole main website doesn't say anything. It's like, yeah, but what are you actually doing? Improving the experience. But hey, I mean, we can look at their portfolio. As you can see a bit more there. Tempus X obviously were involved with us. Biocore. I swear when you sent me this earlier, there was more in this portfolio. Was it just this earlier as well when you sent it, Pies?
Yeah, but there's other areas of the website, I think.
No, I'm aware, but you sent the portfolio part, didn't you? Or link anyway. No idea who any of these people are as well. All right. People. He looks like an AI version of Todd Boehly, doesn't he? Look at him. He just looks like Todd Boehly.
He actually does as
Yes,
well.
I reckon they put Todd Boehly in an AI and said, make a different person from this. But yeah, like I say, all the other Premier League clubs are doing dodgy business in my books. So why on earth should I question whether we have a sponsor from somewhere else, as long as there's nothing too dodgy, illegal going on? Check the group chat. What have I missed in the group chat? Oh yeah, Reading do literally have Waitrose as a sponsor.
Kit, yeah.
That is crazy.
It looks grim, don't it?
Yeah, it is quite funny, that one. It is quite funny. But yeah, I mean, Pice, what do you make of this? The website created, like, clearly both the website and the Twitter page isn't exactly very old. Does it make you feel, limited liability corporation, that's it. Thank you, at last. But does it make you feel it's a bit dodgy? Do you care? Like, how do you see this one?
I guess just wait and see how this company develops, I guess. It does, I don't know, something does feel a little bit off, but it's very professional at the end of the day, like this website and stuff. So, you know,
Although
I don't.
nowadays you just tell an AI, make me a website, and you have this in
Yeah.
like 5 minutes.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I don't know. I'm sure
Our
there's
players
nothing wrong
might
with
do
it.
some videos with them as well. You never know. There might be some collabs as well. They might do some like
Well, if
that
yeah,
YouTube
main
stuff,
shirt
you never
sponsor,
know.
so I would expect something happening. But yeah, the web, it does, especially the whole premise thing, and like it does sound like the website was literally made yesterday. I mean, maybe that's what Jacob Steinberg was more getting at, rather than the our deal hasn't been agreed. More that let's wait whether the Premier League agree it. Maybe that's why he's like it's not done yet or whatever. Could also be the case. I don't know. Difficult to judge for me. I'll take it for now. It looks good. They pay well. And I don't know the ins and outs of if it's dodgy or not. So, yeah. But Damesh, when you see the website, when you see the Twitter page, does it put a kind of dodgy feeling in your stomach, or how do you see it?
Bro, it looks like a website I made in like year 7, man. This,
Yeah,
literally,
yeah,
literally, man. Yeah, but I mean, this company, you never know. With our sort of name associated with them, is going to make them massive. So yeah, it's a win. It's more of a win for them, for us, to be honest.
yeah. I don't really know what else we can say on it. I mean, I guess I can bring it up quickly. Did he say in an article or did he tweet it? I guess I'll bring Jacob Steinberg's tweet up about it so I can mention it there. As much as I think he's a bit of a Gabriel Vega merchant. As reported elsewhere, Chelsea are talking to Infinite Athlete about becoming the new shirt sponsor. The deal is not done. Clubs still have other possibilities. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, maybe we'll have to, maybe doing this, we'll say to the Prem, well, either allow us this or allow us Paramount Plus. Do you know what I mean? It could be with one of those. It is Blue Coat Partner Company made in yesterday. Do you know this, or do you just randomly say this? You're probably just randomly saying this, but yeah, who knows? To be honest, otherwise, I know we could obviously, usually our streams are a bit longer, but I don't really know what else we can talk about. Pies, is there anything else? There's not really anything new in terms of news, is there?
Not really, no. Just waiting for some transfers to actually happen, and hopefully over the next few days before Liverpool, something actually happens. It's a bit boring at the moment.
Yeah, it is. I guess there is this. Lewis Hall looks set to join Crystal Palace on loan in the next 48 hours. Obviously, I had Felix on my stream the other day who said that as far as he's aware, Hall does not want to sign a new contract for the time being. He still has 3 years left with that option that we took. So it's not like super urgent, but you know, let's see whether a compromise is found on that sense. Pies, if you heard anything regarding that, what the situation unknown, but extended contract first, that has been confirmed before or since. How is my connection bad when I'm literally connected to the Ethernet? How is that thing? Anyway, what do you know about that? Would you, I don't know, would you make of his loan to Palace in the first place?
I did hear like Chelsea wanted to extend his contract. I don't know why, because he's got 3 years, but I think maybe just to avoid another Cole situation where like Cole may go on loan and he might think, oh, like I've really enjoyed it here. Let's see what happens. But yeah, I'm not sure whether he wants to sign it or not. But I know the club did want to extend it before he went out on loan. I think, I don't know if it's a good or bad loan. I'd say it's an all right loan, I would say. Main reason I say that is because of Roy Hodgson. Like, I don't really think he's great for Lewis Hall, but You know, he's got a lot of experience in the game. So, and most
It seems to be
importantly,
good for Palace because whenever Palace have anyone other than Roy Hodgson, they are dreadful, and then they bring Roy Hodgson and they are pretty decent.
Yeah, I think few things. How much does he play, and where does he play? You know, is he going to develop as a left back? Is he going to play in midfield? Like, this is an important thing. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. It's a very interesting one. It's also very interesting who's going to make that decision. Is it going to be Palace? Is it going to be Lewis Hall? Is it going to be Chelsea? Who makes that decision on where he's going to play? Because he is a midfielder. He personally prefers to be a midfielder. But he is also looking so good at left back, especially as an attacking left back or a left wing back. Defensively, he still has some work to do. But obviously that can, improve over time. So it's a difficult one. I get what you're saying with Roy Hodgson. But in the grand scheme of things, I don't think there is many better clubs that we could have loaned them to. Like, sure, maybe like one or two, but like Villa are too good now to take 18-year-old loans from us. Like, and then who else do you have? We wouldn't really want to loan it to West Ham, would you? So I think Palace are in about that mid-table. That yes, they could theoretically have to fight relegation, but usually they're quite securely mid-table. They tend to play some good football, even though they obviously lost Wilfried Zaha now and could lose Michael Olise to us or anybody else, I suppose. I think it's a good loan. What do you think, Dams? But obviously, in an ideal world, I would want him to extend first rather than just go. But hey, he still has 3 years left. If he has a good loan and we use him next season, it won't be a problem like it was with Levi Colwill now, I guess.
Yeah, I'm happy about this loan, to be honest. I think it's exactly what Lewis Hall needs at the moment. He's only 18 years old. We don't need players sort of rushing into the first team like that. I know obviously he's got so much ability and stuff, but we haven't seen enough of that in a Chelsea shirt, in my opinion, anyway. But I think alone at a club like Palace, I think he'll start in, week week out. Forgot who Palace's left back is at the moment. Is it Mitchell or Ward? I can't remember.
I think so, yeah.
Something like that. Yeah. He's definitely better than Mitchell, I think, at the moment as well. So he'll definitely take his place in the starting 11. Then, yeah, you never know. Palace might have a good cup run. He might be the most sort of important player for them at the same time. And yeah, I'm glad he's going on loan. And then we can sort of judge sort of Cucurella and maybe Ben Chilwell this season as well, see how they get on. If the jury's out for either of them, then that's sort of perfect for Lewis Hall to sort of come back and maybe contend for the first team. But he's still really young. Like, he's only 18. Like,
and don't forget we have Ian Maatsen, who's going to stay in the squad, who might not play at left back much.
As well, yeah. We could play left back as well, but yeah, I think we'll be all right in the left back situation. I think we're personally, I think we're good for the left back situation. Going forward.
I mean,
in the future,
if Hall turns into midfielder, then we're still good for the left backs.
Yeah, literally, yeah. But let's just see how he does. I think he's a great player though, Lewis Hall. Let's just hope he does well at Palace.
Yeah, exactly. But I think otherwise, it is about time we wrap this one up, ladies and gentlemen. One thing I will tell you is please do subscribe. That would be fantastic. What am I hearing here? Yeah. I'm not sure if you've seen it already, but I think Felix is slightly trolling right now. Have you seen it?
What's on?
Check Felix's, like Felix Johnson's last tweet. I think he's slightly trolling now. It's kind of funny though.
What did he say?
He's like Chelsea need.
Sorry, we basically did your tweet about João Felix about like Mount.
Oh, it's this one, yeah.
But yeah, a little dig left, right, and centre has never had nobody, I guess. But yeah, I mean, Mount still being here would certainly be good right now if Nkunku being injured. But hey, he's gone.
He's been shit for Man U so far.
But it would be better for us, because we're not Man United. But see, I'm not out here to try and slay Havertz and Mount and all the other players that are leaving after they're gone. I just don't care about them. Now, Felix brought it up now, but I just don't give a shit. You're gone. Except when we play against them. Then I literally want them to, well, not get injured, but, if they did a little hammy, I wouldn't cry. Let's say it that way. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about time to wrap this one up. Like I say, if you haven't already, please be sure to subscribe. That would be massively appreciated. Hit that like button for me if you haven't done that just yet, because we haven't even we have got over 100 likes, but we haven't hit 150 likes yet. So get down there, hit that like button, just one click of a button, that doesn't cost you any money or any time. So that would be massively appreciated. Please do, of course, as I told you earlier already, check out Pys. His Twitter, his website, londonsfirst.com. Both links are down in the description, as well as Dalmesh's Twitter. Check that out. Maybe not the most active, but get involved anyway. The more followers he has, I'm sure the more active he will get. Dums, Pice, appreciate you both very much for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for watching. Upwards and onwards. I forgot my own outro. Thank you guys for watching. Upwards and onwards, up the gels, and we'll see you next time.